So this video applies to the Dell Precision T3600 and 5600. I have a 5600 here at the moment. And if your fans are rattling and banging, it's more than likely because the rubber shock mounts they rest on have failed. And I'm just going to show how to quickly replace them. It is kind of an annoying process, but it is what it is. So you'll need to remove the drive cage and put that out of the way. And you'll need to remove this little support bracket here. You will also want to have a long screwdriver. This support bracket will be held on with this little cable retention clip, so you'll have to remove that out of the way. And you're going to have to remove the GPU power cables from their support bracket, along with this GPU support bracket here. There's a little tab you push on when it's locked in place, and it just angles out. And any cables attached to the fan tray. The 3600 is slightly different orientation wise, but the steps are pretty much still going to be the same. And there's 4 screws that hold the front drive tray bracket on. You'll have to remove because this bracket is in the way of the fans when it comes to removing them. Oops. And I'm lazy, which is not always the best, but I'm not going to remove those cables in my way. Shouldn't be necessary. Ouch. Got a metal shard in my finger. So there's the front drive cage, the retention bracket. Don't know what it's officially called. Ugh, hate that. You will want to disconnect the fans, obviously. And then there's 3 screws to remove. With the screws for the fan tray, you might want to make sure your screwdriver is magnetized so the screws will stick to it. Mine's not quite magnetized enough to grab it, so I'm just going to use my magnet to magnetize it real quick. There we go. Oh. Oh no. And that one went under the motherboard. The 3600 is slightly easier to do, but I just did a 3600 and this one needs to be done now, so the 5600 is what I'm working on. And as you notice, when you try to remove the fan tray, you have to lift it up and then pull it away from the front of the case. And the fans aren't coming with it because none of them are attached anymore. Whoops! Don't do that. That's not part of the steps. Yeah. So, got the fan tray out. You'll notice these little slots here. There's a little tab that I'm not going to be able to show because I'm not set up for that. But there's a little tab that kind of sticks out from the case and it slots into this. So when you put this back in, you'll want to make sure that you slot in that correctly. But yeah, as you can see, all the fan mounts have failed. With the fans, you want to make sure that the hub is facing the front and then the back label is facing towards the back. Generally with most computer fans, until recently, the label side of the fan has been the exhaust side of the fan. Odds are, depending on how bad the rubber degraded, you might find chunks inside the case. I'm actually missing part of the shock mount. So that's lost somewhere inside the case, unfortunately. But yeah, you'll just want to remove these in the fans. I find it's just easier to remove the fans altogether. They should all be the same to the best of my knowledge. Just looking here. The camera's probably not going to focus on that because I'm zoomed out weird, but These are V53HW fans. That's the Dell part number. So yeah, you need to remove the fans, remove the old nubs and whatever's left of the mounts, because they're going to be in the way for your replacement ones. If you don't want to buy replacement mounts, which I don't blame you, because I'm the only one selling them and they're expensive, then I believe you should be able to just use a standard, get this oriented correctly. You should be able to just use a standard fan screw, and you just would lose the little vibration shock mounts. Honestly, that's the cheaper route to go. I do sell these in pairs for $10 a pair, which includes shipping, mostly because the shipping and the fees are like $7 of that. Why I sell them in pairs, I don't know, but it's whatever. If you are buying them from me and you need them in bulk, just make me an offer that's reasonable, considering the fact that whatever offer you make is going to be that price that you're paying me, and then the more you buy, the price kind of changes fees. So it's, minimum it's $5 to ship, and then another dollars worth of handling, packaging materials and stuff. But that's kind of off topic. So you'll take these replacement mounts and you'll pull them through. I want to make sure it's on the back side. And don't pull them too hard because they can break, but you don't want to pull them hard enough to get them through. Because the fan goes on this little notch right here. It can be a little tricky. The interesting thing I found is these kind of have varying stages of degradation. So like some of these, like this one here, some of the rubber's like wearing off onto my fingers. It's really annoying. But otherwise it's reasonably solid. This is actually probably not the best. But oops, wrong way. Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of an annoying problem. Once you get the rubber pulled through the back of the fan, though, you want to line the fan lead up with this rectangular hole here. Basically like that. You want it so it's going under the fan. If you do choose to screw the fan down versus buying replacement mounts, I don't know how you'd want to route that. I don't think that's going to fit through there. You might have issues with routing the wire. Otherwise, you might just have to crush it a little bit. I think if you were to screw it down, you might want to get some sort of washer or spacer to put here so there's enough of a gap to not pinch that wire and have it run the risk of cutting through. But once you get the wire through that hole and then have it oriented, near where it comes out of the fan, basically what you want to do is you want to get the top mounts through the opening here, and then you're going to slide them up and over. They may not want to cooperate. You want to fix the zoom so it'll actually focus. And they may want to go through the wrong spot, but you want it to be in this gap between the base and then this ridged, really camera? You want it in between the gap of the base and this little raised ridge. So you see there's like a little slot basically. So you'll pull it through there. And this is also kind of tricky. Honestly, I would probably just screw them down if it were me and I didn't want to spend the money on the mounts. Oops. The bottom ones are a little bit trickier, so what you kind of have to do is pull the fan towards the bottom so you can grab the mount and then kind of angle it in like that. It's not particularly fun. I don't enjoy doing this. Alright, so that's one down, almost. This isn't pulled all the way through properly. Oh, this one I didn't apparently get through either. If you do screw it up like I just did here, you can get under it with this like screwdriver. Kind of force it back far enough where you can align it properly. That mount might just not be good in general. It does not want to cooperate. There we go. It's about to grab the screwdriver. So now I gotta do this fun process a bunch more times. Also, while you have it apart, oh, come on, might not be a bad idea before you put the fans back in to hit them with like a toothbrush and then blow the dust off them. I'm just gonna full send it, and I'll blow this fan cage out before I reinstall it. Oop. There we go. Alrighty. You know, the unfortunate thing about rubber is it just does not stand the test of time. Be nice if it would, but just breaks down. Ah, nuts. Oh well. Yeah, this is just, it's a royal pain in general. If it is stubborn, you can take a screwdriver, kind of push it in. There we go. All right, one more to go. Now when the piece of rubber is sheared off cleanly on both ends. Oop, almost dropped it in the case. There we go. Yeah, this process though is a royal pain. And unfortunately, I think all these fan mounts are kind of starting to fail all around the same time. With the Optiplex desktops, like a 9020 mini tower, I don't think I would bother with the fan mounts personally. If it were me, I would just screw those down. Those are lower performance machines, so they're not going to be as prone to fan noise. The Precisions, you probably should care a little bit more because there's a lot more fans. So I'm going to blow this out real quick though and I'll be back. Alright, got everything nice and clean now. At least as clean as you can get it. So now once you got those mounts replaced, just slide the fan cage down into the case, making sure to clear all the cables and then the speaker and stuff like that. Alright, something in my way. There we go. And once you get it in, if you didn't magically get it lined up first try, you want to lift it up while pushing it against the case, and then you'll kind of hear it click over the little locking tabs. Once you get it aligned with those locking tabs, push down on it, make sure it's all the way down. And then you're going to have to start reinstalling screws. I think I need to remagnetize this tip a little bit more. I would definitely recommend a magnetized screwdriver when doing this, just because these cases are really easy to lose screws in. Alrighty. There we go. It's probably one of the worst things about these Dell Precisions is lots of little nooks and crannies. There we go. Alright, got the fan gauge in. I'm going to put the PCI retention module back in. And basically to put that back in, you want to angle it in so this little tab goes in its necessary slot. And you don't really have to pay too much attention to what you're doing. Wipe that dust off. Basically, if you have it angled like this and you have this part kind of sitting against the fan gauge, you can push it in towards the spot and it should locate itself automatically. And then just push it towards the front of the case till it locks. Probably should have plugged the fan in first, but that's okay. I'll put this under the SATA cable. There we go. Alright, can't see what I'm doing because there's stuff in my way. Oh well. There we go. And one more. And just because it looks difficult for me to do it doesn't mean it will be for you. I have a phone, a tripod in my face. There we go. There we go. Put these back where they belong, because this system is not getting a powered GPU. Unfortunately, this system is very low end. It has a single quad-core CPU in it. Very sad. It does have 32 gigs of RAM though. Alright. The cage for the front drive tray needs to go in next. When you reinstall that, make sure the hole here lines up with the hole in the case. Screw doesn't go in there quite yet though. And try not to bump anything. Alright, I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing with the tripod in my way. Oh no, that ain't gonna work. And I just lost a screw. Well, that's fun. Alright, managed to fish out that screw I lost. Got the other two screws screwed in there. Decided to rotate the case too just to make my orientation easier to work with. And we're going to attach this support bracket here now. And the spare cables. Fix that routing here. Get that back under its little bracket. And then when you reinsert the drive cage, make sure the handle pulled up. Align the pins with the slots on each side. And kind of just push down on the handle. If it's cockeyed like this, it's because you have cable in the way. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. Oh. The GPU power cables aren't quite positioned right. They're sitting too proud. There we go. So, yeah. And that's how you fix your fan mounts if they've gone to crap. Here's the here's the pile of the remains. That used to be 12 fan mounts, and now it's 20 pieces of junk. So, a bit long, but hopefully that was helpful, and thanks for watching.